Alright, what's up everybody, it's Kami. Welcome back to another episode of Stand Swap. Now, I do apologize for not having an upload yesterday. I'm actually recording this on Monday. I didn't have a video already out for Monday or anything like that. I kind of took the weekend to just relax and stuff and not work on anything. So I do apologize for not having a video ready for today. Now, for today's episode of Stand Swap, which I'm actually going to be recording another one right after this one. So that's going to go up on tomorrow, which is Wednesday, which is going to be the 18th. So you guys are going to get two Stand Swaps back to back on 2 different days. But I was, looking at your guys' comments and stuff on the stand swaps, and I got this one a lot, and it was switching the world with King Crimson. Now, in either situation, and I kind of had to think about this for a little bit, but in either situation, for Dio, it's a plus, but for Diavolo, there's a big key factor for him having both of the stands regardless. So I guess we'll start with that, because speaking about Dio, things are kind of just more in his favor, I guess, in the situation of the stand swap. Let me actually move my mic here so it's better positioned. But anyways, Diavolo has King Crimson. He can skip and erase time or whatever, and things like that. Well, erase time. I don't know why I said skip for a second. But yeah, he can erase time, right? I have my video explaining this, how it works. There it goes. It works. That's a joke. It just works. But the big drawback of King Crimson and Diavolo is Diavolo's stamina. Now, Diavolo himself is, a grown-ass man, right? He's an older man, I guess, He's got a kid. So he's obviously a father, but he's an older man himself, so his stamina, and that's kind of weird saying in comparison to Dio, because technically Dio's like 200 years old or whatever, because he is a vampire and he was under the sea for like 100 years. So Dio himself is very old, but he's not like Diavolo old, where he has a strong and fit, healthy body and stuff like that, and Diavolo's kind of just a grown-ass man who doesn't really have that same type of body strength as an immortal vampire like Dio. So Diavolo has this issue with his body, I guess, and I just resort to it being I just associate it with him being old, is that his stamina is kind of poor, and that's his big drawback with King Crimson, is it takes up a lot of his stamina, so he can't use it too often, and he has to be pretty close to be able to actually pull it off and stuff, because his stand's range itself is pretty short. But on top of that, he needs to have a lot of stamina to be able to use it. So there's this big drawback of him needing to have, this crazy high stamina to use his ability to the full potential and stuff like that. And the big thing with this, in me bringing it up, is if we look at Jotaro, who has Star Platinum, who can also stop time. We know Jotaro's a normal ass, 16-year-old, well, quote unquote normal, or he's like 16 or 17 by that part, by the time of that part. But he's still a teenager. Who's able to, do a bunch of shit. He's really strong and stuff, but he's still a normal human, so he's not Dio, who can stop time for 9 seconds, where Jotaro could only stop time for 5 seconds. So if we take this into account, we know that normal humans with time stopping abilities would only be able to have a, normal time stop. So if you were to give Diavolo the world, we know that him using up King Crimson, takes up a lot of his stamina. Him using the world to stop time would probably also take up a lot of his stamina, and it kind of makes me speculate and wonder. So I think he wouldn't be able to use the world as long as, let's say, Dio or Jotaro even, for example. So in part 4 or like part 6, Jotaro's time stop ability is nerfed. Well, it's nerfed by part 4 too, but his ability is nerfed down because he doesn't practice it as often. And I guess we're gonna have to like rematch just so I can continue talking, because this happened like really quickly. But yeah, his time stop is like nerfed down to like 1 or 2 seconds, and that's kind of what I wanted to talk on, is because since Diavolo has this low stamina, I'd assume that his time stop ability would also not be as long as Dio's, obviously, but I think it would be super short, and pretty much I want to say around 1 or 2 seconds of time stop is what I'd say Diavolo would have if he had time stop. Now, given if he had time stop, right, even if it was 1 or 2 seconds, that's still a big advantage in any situation. Being able to stop time against normal stand users is indeed, a big difference. So if you would have had the time stop before Gold Experience became Gold Experience Requiem, because of the arrow, he could have potentially, killed the rest of the gang, and he could have won, right? And he could have killed Trish, he could have killed Giorno, he could have killed Mista, he could have killed Polnareff, who was inside of the turtle at this point, and, he could have gotten this over with. Now, again, like I mentioned this, it kind of brings up the point of what would happen if, even if he could stop time, would, Silver Chariot Requiem be able to still counteract his ability and still keep him away, because we know that Silver Chariot Requiem's abilities work around keeping people away from the arrow, because that's what he was trying to do. Polnareff wanted to protect the arrow and keep it away from Diavolo before he died out of his own body and got put into the turtle. So kind of makes me wonder if it would have been able to activate even within time stop if Diavolo did have time stop. Now actually thinking about it now, it probably would have been able to still affect Diavolo even if he had time stop, because it would have already been a thing of him having time stop. It would have already been within his ability range, unless they were unaware of what he could have been doing. And I don't remember if they ever specifically state that the gang finds out, yeah, he can skip time and that's what he's doing or whatever, or erasing time. I'm sorry, I don't know why I keep saying skip. But yeah, I don't know if they ever mention it. Like, I can't remember off the top of my head right now. But it kind of just brings it to speculation, I guess, and you guys can kind of think about it. Elaborate down below in the comments what you think. Do you think if Diavolo had the world's ability, if Silver Chariot Requiem would still be active within his time stop? I'm not sure myself, but even still, I don't think Diavolo would have a super long time stop. I think it would be like 1, maybe 2 seconds tops is what I'll give him, because Diavolo is a normal ass man, but he's kind of older and he has like lower stamina, and that's his big drawback to his ability. Now if we give King Crimson to Dio, who's got like amazing stamina, he's super strong, he's super quick, he's got super vampire reflexes and stuff, and he's got a like super powerful human body, I think Dio would have like a huge advantage, because even with the world, Dio can use the world for so long without getting tired. He can like literally like time stop all the time, and it doesn't really bother him or anything, where Jotaro says it's like it's straining to do the time stop over and over and stuff like that, and it puts a lot of stress on his body, because he is a normal person, and moving his stop time itself does sound like it would be a hard thing to accomplish. So that kind of just makes me wonder if Dio had King Crimson, how far would the extent be, because he would still have a short range on the stand. The stand range does not change just because he has more durability. However, he would be able to use the stand a bit more, and I think that we would have been able to see more of his true quote-unquote potential, and it would have been a much more stronger ability and much more of a threat. Not to say it wasn't already a threat, but if he were the one controlling it, Dio would obviously have more stamina, so he'd be able to use it more often, and of course that also grants him Epitaph, so Dio would be able to read movements of the Stardust Crusaders when they were fighting him, and these things would have happened, and that just would have been really cool. All right, I think that would have been amazing. We'll hit him with the dual hit attacker here, but yeah, let me know what you guys think down below in the comments, and what you guys want to see for a future stand swap. Right after this one, I'm going to go down to the comments and see what other ones are most requested. I saw this one and thought it'd be interesting, because Dio with King Crimson would be a serious threat. He would have this durability not holding him back, and he'd be able to do a lot of damage and stuff. He'd probably be able to even erase time for more than 10 seconds. We don't know, but that's what I'd assume, because Dio is Dio, and as he was using his time stop, he was able to keep using time stop longer and longer, and he was mastering his ability as he was fighting Jotaro. And it kind of also brings into account, because Star Platinum is synced to the world, do you guys think if Dio would have had King Crimson at the time, the Star Platinum, instead of getting a time stopping ability, would have been able to move within a race time? Let me know what you guys think down below. Suggest a stand swap. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and feel free to subscribe, leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.